When the truth hits like a storm, the phone call that forces you to see someone differently forever. Have you ever received a phone call that changed how you see someone forever? Single moment, a single sentence, and suddenly the picture you had in your mind breaks apart? Let me tell you something about truth. Truth does not always arrive gently. Sometimes it crashes into your life, like a storm. One moment you are living your normal day, the next moment you hear something that shakes your heart, and in that moment something painful happens. You realize that someone you trusted, someone you raised, someone you believed in, is not the person you thought they were. That realization is heavy, because when the world disappoints you, it hurts. But when someone close to you disappoints you, it cuts deeper. Many parents know this feeling. They raise their children with care. They teach them right from wrong. They hope those lessons will guide them through life, but life has a way of testing people. Pressure comes, temptation appears, hard days arrive, and that is when the real person shows up. Let me tell you something important. Character is not proven on easy days. Anyone can look good when life is comfortable. Anyone can speak big words when nothing is at risk. But when things get hard, when someone is suffering, when loyalty is needed most, that is when you see the truth. Think about history. Many people admire strong leaders, brave workers, and people who stand by their family no matter what. Why? Because when hard days came, they did not run away. They stayed. They stood firm, and that is what separates strong people from weak ones, eh? Phone call can reveal many things. It can reveal who someone truly is. And once you see the truth, you cannot pretend you did not see it, because truth changes everything, eh? A picture that should never exist. Loyalty in a hospital room, while carelessness laughs outside there. Or some images in life that should never exist. A hospital room is a place where people fight for life. Machines beep quietly. Doctors walk through the halls. Family members sit in chairs that grow more uncomfortable with every passing hour. In those rooms, loyalty matters more than anything. When someone you love is lying in that bed, you stay. You sit there even when you are tired. You sit there even when you feel helpless. You sit there because your presence says one powerful thing. I am here. Now think about the opposite picture. While someone fights for life in a hospital bed, somewhere else, laughter fills a car. Music plays. People joke. Someone forgets the pain waiting inside that hospital room, too. Pictures one filled with suffering, the other filled with careless joy, and the distance between those two. Pictures is not measured in miles, it is measured in character. Let me ask you something. What kind of person forgets their promise when life becomes difficult? Because real love is not proven during happy days. Anyone can hold hands. During sunshine, anyone can smile during good times. But real love, real loyalty, shows up during the storm. Think about ordinary life. A mother wakes up early every morning to care for her family. Her father works long hours so his children can have a better future. A friend drives across the city just to sit beside someone who is hurting. These are simple actions, but they reveal something powerful. They reveal heart. Pressure reveals the truth about people, just like heat reveals what metal is made of. And when pressure appears in life, you cannot hide what is inside you. The parent's hardest war, when love must stop protecting weakness and start confronting the truth there. It's a battle many parents face that nobody talks about. It is the battle between love and truth. Every parent loves their child. From the moment they take their first breath, parents want to protect them from pain, from mistakes, from the harsh parts of life. But there comes a moment when protecting someone from the truth becomes dangerous, because when weakness is protected again and again, it grows. Think about a young tree. If the branches grow wild and nobody trims them, the tree becomes weak. Branches become heavy. One strong storm can break them, but careful trimming makes the tree stronger. Life works the same way. Sometimes love must be firm, sometimes love must say difficult words. Many parents struggle with this. They want to defend their child. They want to explain away the problem. They want to believe things are not as bad as they seem. But deep down, they know the truth. And here's the hard part. If you stay silent when someone is wrong, you help the problem grow. Silence can become permission. Silence can become approval. Let me tell you something clearly. Real love does not hide from truth. Real love faces it, even when it hurts, even when it breaks your heart. Because a moment of hard truth can save someone from years of failure. Throughout life, strong teachers, strong parents, and strong leaders have always understood this. They did not stay quiet when something was wrong. They spoke up, not because they wanted to hurt someone, but because they wanted them to grow. And sometimes the most powerful words you can say are the ones people do not want to hear. Because truth, when spoken at the right time, can wake a person up. It can shake them. It can force them to see who they are becoming. In that moment, that decision to speak is where real change begins. The dangerous lie people live. Be with a comfort trap. What happens when easy living slowly replaces responsibility and weakens character? Let me tell you something. About comfort, comfort feels good. Comfort feels safe. But too much comfort can quietly weaken a person when life becomes easy for too long. People begin to forget their duties. They stop pushing themselves. They stop caring about the promises they made. They stop thinking about the people who depend on them. Little by little, strong habits disappear. Think about a tool that sits in a box for years. The metal slowly loses its edge. Rust begins to form. What once was sharp becomes dull. People are not very different. When someone avoids hard duties again and again, their character slowly becomes weak. Look around at everyday life. A worker who once showed up early begins to arrive late. A partner who once cared deeply begins to pay less attention. A friend who once stood by others begins to disappear when things become difficult. None of this happens in one day. It happens slowly. Comfort whispers soft lies, it says. You deserve a break. It says, this is not a big deal. It says someone else will handle it. But those small lies grow into big problems. Strong people understand something simple. Life is not meant to be easy all the time. Life asks something from you. It asks you to stand up. It asks you to take care of your duties. It asks you to protect the people who trust you. Without that effort, a person slowly drifts away from who they were meant to be. Comfort can be useful, but when comfort becomes your leader, it quietly leads you in the wrong direction. And many people do not realize what is happening until the damage is already done. When commitment becomes casual, the dangerous lie that treats marriage like a temporary feeling, instead of a lifelong promise, marriage was never meant to be treated lightly. It was never meant to be something you pick up when life feels good and drop when life becomes hard. Yet many people today treat it that way. They treat it like a feeling that comes and goes. When they feel happy, they stay. When they feel bored or tired, they begin to drift away. But let me tell you something clearly. A promise is not built on feelings. Feelings change every day. One day you feel strong, the next day you feel weak. One day life is bright, the next day life is heavy. If promises depended only on feelings, no promise would last very long. Real love is not just about the good days. Real love is about the difficult days. Think about the people who have stayed, married for 40 or 50 years. Ask them their secret. Many of them will say something simple. They stayed. They stayed through hard seasons. They stayed through illness. They stayed through stress and long nights and difficult years, and those years built something powerful. Trust. Marriage is not a hobby. It is not something you practice when it is convenient. It is a promise that says, when life becomes heavy, I will still be here. Anyone can hold a hand when the sun is shining, but the real test arrives when the sky turns dark. That is when a promise proves its strength. And that is when character shows its true face. Responsibility defines a man showing up, standing firm. And choosing honor when nobody is watching there is a simple question every person must answer in life. Who will you be when nobody is watching? Because it is easy to look good in front of others. It is easy to speak big words in public. But the true measure of a person appears in quiet moments. Responsibility is not about speeches. Responsibility is about actions. It is waking up early when you are tired. It is showing up when things are difficult. It is staying when leaving would be easier. Look at ordinary heroes around you. A nurse who works through the night caring for strangers. A father working 2 jobs to support his family. A mother sitting beside a hospital bed for hours just to comfort someone she loves. These actions are not loud, but they carry great weight. Responsibility is simple. Responsibility is showing up. Responsibility is staying when others walk away. Responsibility is protecting the trust someone placed in you. Life will always test this. There will always be moments when the easy road looks attractive. Moments when you could disappear and nobody would stop you, but strong people choose something different. They choose honor. Not because someone is watching, but because they know who they want to be. And that choice, made again and again, builds the kind of character that stands strong when life becomes hard. The conversation that shook Evie or White, a change either ITI moment when silence becomes heavy and the truth finally demands an answer there. Are moments in life when silence becomes too heavy to carry. You sit across from someone, you look into their eyes, and both of you know something important must be said, but for a moment, nobody speaks. Because truth can be uncomfortable. Truth can shake a person. Yet silence cannot last forever. Eventually, someone must ask the question, where were you? What were you doing? You understand what is happening right now? These are not easy questions, but they matter. Many people avoid these moments. They change the subject. They laugh nervously. They hope the problem will disappear if nobody talks about it. But problems do not disappear through silence. They grow. Think about a crack in a wall. At first it is small, easy to ignore, but if nobody repairs it, the crack slowly spreads until the whole wall becomes weak. Truth works the same way. The longer it is avoided, the more damage it causes. That is why strong people face these moments. They sit down, they look someone in the eyes, and they ask the hard questions, because deep down they know something important. The fog of excuses, how weak justifications. Hide responsibility until reality forces a crash. When people know they are wrong, they often reach for one thing, a reason. They search for words that make their behavior sound smaller. They say things like, I needed a break. They say, it is not that serious. They say, you do not understand the pressure I feel. These words may sound convincing at first, but they do not solve the problem. They only hide it. Imagine driving on a road covered in thick fog. You cannot see very far ahead. Everything feels uncertain. That fog makes people slow down because they know danger may be waiting, but when someone hides behind weak reasons, they do the opposite. They keep driving faster into the fog. They refuse to slow down. They refuse to face the danger, and eventually the road runs out. Life is not fooled by clever words. Reality eventually catches up. Every action creates a result. If someone runs from duty long enough, the results will appear sooner or later. And when they do, no amount of clever talk can hide the truth anymore. Words that break ego. The hard truth every man must hear when his character is on trials. Sometimes a person needs to hear words that shake them, words that cut through pride, words that wake them up. Let me tell you something. Growing older does not automatically make someone mature. A person becomes mature when they learn to face their actions, when they stop blaming the world, when they stop running away. There comes a moment when someone must say it clearly, you are not a boy anymore. Life is serious. People depend on you. And when things become difficult, running away is not the answer. History is filled with stories of people who changed their lives after hearing one hard truth. A coach telling an athlete they must work harder. A teacher telling a student they are wasting their talent. A parent telling their child they must grow up. These words can sting, but sometimes pain wakes people up, because when someone finally sees the damage they are causing, a choice appears. Continue down the same road, or turn around and become a better person. That choice defines who they will become. The hardest lesson a parent can trust of. Love builds strong people. Why real love sometimes must be firm, honest, and uncomfortable. Many people think love must always be gentle. They think love must always protect feelings. But real love is deeper than that. Real. Yeah. Love wants the best for someone's future, and sometimes that future requires hard lessons. Think about a coach training an athlete. If the coach only speaks kind words and never pushes the athlete will never grow stronger. But when the coach demands more effort, something powerful happens. Strength begins to grow. Parents face the same challenge. They want to protect their children from pain, but they also know that avoiding every hard lesson will leave their children weak. That is why tough love exists, not because someone wants to hurt another person, but because they want them to grow. Tough love speaks the truth. Even when it is uncomfortable, it refuses to pretend everything is fine when something is clearly wrong. And in the long run, that honesty can save someone from years of poor choices. The price of staying quiet. When silence protects the wrong behavior and slowly destroys integrity, silence may feel peaceful, but silence can also cause great damage. When people stay quiet, while wrong actions continue, they slowly allow those actions to grow stronger. Imagine a classroom where one student begins to break the rules. If the teacher ignores it, what happens? Soon other students follow the same path. The problem spreads. Life outside. The classroom works the same way. When families ignore harmful behavior, the behavior becomes normal. When friends ignore harmful behavior, the person begins to believe it is acceptable. Silence can send a dangerous message. It can say, "This is fine." But deep down, everyone knows the truth. Wrong actions must be faced, because if they are ignored long enough, they begin to shape a person's life. And by the time someone decides to speak, the damage may already be deep. The stand that changes everything, the moment when boundaries replace excuses and responsibility begins. There comes a moment in every serious situation when someone must take a stand. No more soft words, no more pretending, just a clear line. This behavior cannot continue. Boundaries are powerful. They show people where the limits are. Without them, chaos grows in families. Strong boundaries protect respect. They remind people that actions have results. Think about a referee in a sports game. Without rules, the game would collapse into chaos. The same is true in life. Boundaries keep order. They remind people that every choice matters. And when someone finally draws that line, something powerful happens. The person facing that boundary must decide, change their behavior, or face the results. That moment is often the beginning of real change, because sometimes people do not wake up until someone finally says, enough. The truth most people refuse to face. Life is an echo. The choices you make today will return to you louder tomorrow. Life has a strange way of returning what people send into it. Think about standing in a wide valley and shouting a single word. A few seconds later, the sound comes back. Sometimes louder. Sometimes repeated again and again. Life works in a very similar way. The choices you make today do not disappear. They travel forward in time. And one day they return. A kind act returns as trust. A selfish act returns as pain. Many people forget this. They think a careless moment will stay hidden. They believe one bad choice will simply fade away. But actions are like seeds. It's planted in the ground. You may not see the plant. It's the next day. You may not see it the next month. But give it time. Eventually, something will grow. A farmer understands this simple truth. If he plants strong seeds and cares for the field, a healthy harvest arrives later. But if he ignores the field, weeds take over. Life follows the same pattern. When people protect the ones they love, trust grows stronger over time. But when someone chooses selfish pleasure instead of loyalty, the damage may take years to show itself. And when it finally appears, it often arrives much louder than expected. This is why wise people think carefully before acting. They know every action sends a signal into the future, and one day that signal will come. Back, respect is forged in hard times. Anyone can stay when life is easy. But character stands firm in the storm. Respect is not given because someone says the right words. Respect grows from actions, and the strongest respect is built during difficult days. Think about a ship sailing across the ocean. When the sea is calm, anyone can hold the wheel. The sky is clear, the water is smooth, the journey feels simple. But when the storm arrives, the real captain appears. Waves rise high. Wind pushes the ship from side to side. Fear spreads through the crew. That is when the person at the wheel must stay steady. Life brings storms like this. Illness arrives. Money problems appear. Family struggles grow heavy. These moments reveal the truth about people. Some step forward and stay strong. Others quietly disappear, and everyone watching remembers who stayed. Look at ordinary life. A friend who stands beside you during hard days earns deep respect. A partner who refuses to leave when life becomes painful earns lasting trust. But someone who runs away during the storm loses something that is very difficult to rebuild. Because respect is not built through comfort. Respect is built through courage. It is built through patience. It is built through the decision to stay when leaving would be easier. And once respect is broken, it takes a very long time to repair. The hidden cost of selfishness, how one careless decision can destroy. Years of trust grows slowly. It forms through many small actions over time. Every promise kept adds another drop. Every loyal act adds another drop. Year after year, those drops fill a bucket. But the sad truth is this: it takes only one careless action to knock that bucket over. Selfish behavior often looks small in the moment. A person tells themselves, "This is just one time." Say, "This will not hurt anyone." They believe the damage will stay hidden. But trust is fragile. Once it cracks, people begin to question everything. They start to wonder which moments were real, which were false. Think about a glass window. It may stand strong for years, but a single stone can shatter it in seconds. Rebuilding that window takes time. And sometimes the cracks never fully disappear. This is why wise people guard trust carefully. They know it is one of the most valuable things in life. Money can be earned again. Opportunities can return. But once trust breaks, repairing it is one of the hardest tasks a person will ever face. The wake-up call many people unides the test life always brings. Who will you become when doing the right thing is the hardest choice. Life brings tests to every person. Not simple tests like those found in a classroom. Real tests. Tests that appear when nobody is guiding you. Tests that appear when the easy choice looks tempting. Let me ask you something. Who will you become when doing the right thing is the hardest choice? Because there will always be two paths. One path is comfortable. It asks nothing from you. It lets you avoid responsibility. The other path is harder. It asks for courage. It asks for honesty. It asks you to stand firm, even when nobody supports you. History is full of people who faced this moment. Workers who refused to cheat even when they could get away with it. Friends who stood beside someone everyone else abandoned. Partners who stayed loyal even when temptation appeared. These moments may seem small to the outside world, but inside a person's life, they're powerful turning points. Each choice shapes the person you are becoming, because every decision trains your character. The more you choose the right path, the stronger you become, the more you avoid it. The weaker your foundation grows. Life will always bring another test. The only question is how you will answer it. The mirror. Most people avoid facing the truth about the person you are becoming. Every person owns a mirror. Not the mirror hanging on a wall, a deeper one. The mirror that reflects who they truly are. But many people avoid looking into it. They stay busy. They distract anything to avoid the quiet moment when truth appears, because looking into that mirror can be uncomfortable. It forces you to ask hard questions. Am I becoming the person I once hoped to be? Am I living by the values I claim to believe in? Am I protecting the people who trusted me? These questions do not lie, and deep down, every person already knows the answer. A student who avoids studying knows the result waiting ahead. A worker who ignores their duties knows trouble will arrive. A partner who breaks trust knows the damage. They are creating the mirror always shows the truth, but it takes courage to stand in front of it and accept what you see. Because once you face that truth, something powerful happens. You gain the power to change. 2 roads, 1 decision. The moment when you choose between selfish, comfort, and lasting character, life often places people at a crossroads. 2 roads appear. 1 road feels easy. It promises quick pleasure, freedom from responsibility. The other road is harder. It asks for patience. It asks for discipline. It asks you to think about others before yourself. Many people choose the first road because it feels good in the moment, but that road often leads to regret. The second road may feel difficult today, yet it leads somewhere stronger. Think about athletes who train early in the morning while others sleep. Think about parents who sacrifice their own comfort to care for their children. Think about workers who stay honest even when cheating might bring quick rewards. These people choose the harder road, and over time, that road builds strength inside them. Life is full of these crossroads. You choose your actions. You choose your character. You choose the kind of life you will build. And every choice moves you one step farther down the road you selected. The lesson: everyone must share storms reveal foundations. Hard times expose the strength or weakness hidden inside us. Imagine 2 houses built on different ground. One stands on solid rock. The other stands on loose sand. From the outside, it may look the same. Fresh paint, strong doors, bright windows. But when the storm arrives, the truth appears. Wind shakes the walls. Rain pounds the roof. The house built on rock stands firm. The house built on sand begins to crack. Life brings storms like this to every person. Hard days arrive without warning. Loss appears. Health struggles appear. Family challenges appear in those moments. People discover what their lives are built on. If their values are strong, they remain steady. If their values are weak, everything begins to fall apart. This is why character matters long before the storm appears, because when the storm finally arrives, it is too late to rebuild the foundation. The world is starving for strength. Why? Loyalty, responsibility, and character matter more than ever. Look around the world today. Many people chase comfort. Many people chase quick pleasure. But fewer people choose loyalty. Fewer people choose responsibility. Fewer people choose the harder path that builds strong character. That is why strong people stand out so clearly. A loyal friend stands out in a crowd of careless ones. A devoted partner stands out in a world where promises are easily broken. A responsible parent stands out in a society filled with distractions. Strength is not loud. Strength is quiet. It appears in the person who stays when things become difficult. It appears in the person who protects others instead of thinking only about themselves. And the truth is simple. The world needs more people like that, because strong character builds strong families build strong communities, and strong communities create a better world for the next generation. The legacy you leave behind when life's hardest day arrives. Only character will still be standing at the end of life. Many things lose their importance. Money fades, status fades. The things people chased for years suddenly feel small. What remains is something far deeper. The way you treated people, the promises you kept, the trust you protected. This is the legacy a person leaves behind. Think about the people who shaped your life. Perhaps a parent who worked tirelessly for their family. Perhaps a teacher who believed in you when others did not. Perhaps a friend who stood beside you during your darkest hour. Those people are remembered not because of wealth, or power. They are remembered because of character. And when the hardest day of life finally arrives, that character is what remains. Because when everything else falls away, the truth about who you were will still be standing.